This is a HeadGum podcast.
Ancient Chinese secret.
It's hard not to talk about lost stuff on here.
That's how I warm up before a show. I just say that over and over again. It works all like the mouth muscles. Ancient Chinese secret. Now I'm ready.
You know what I think the most pleasant word to say is? Lesbian. It's like all soft sounds. Try saying it. Say it with a nice exhale. Yeah.
You can say it with a good femininity. Is that a word?
It doesn't matter. It's just relaxing to say the sounds. Lesbian.
Can it become a thing? Like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to go lesbian. I'm going to take a nice cool bath in lesbian.
That came to me because it occurred to me at some point that, like, words are just sounds, and it's like the context, obviously, but like when we're talking nice about women, it's all soft sounds like woman, girl, lesbian. But when it's like people who are real angry about women, it's like bitch, hooker, slut. Like that's definitely different.
So this is Talking Banter, guys, the official after show of Dynamic Banter, the podcast. We're talking about episode 16, Sex McFarmland presents Escape Room Wedding. Which is this the first title that was not said in its entirety on the podcast?
Interesting.
Right?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I feel pretty confident about it. So I'm... First of all, hey, welcome back.
Oh, yeah.
You were missed.
I'd say good to be back, but...
You were sorely missed.
I don't think I was at all. No, I heard it. I think it's better.
How was... That's not what the public says.
Well, actually...
The numbers are in.
Hang on. You can cut this out if you want.
Okay.
2 ideas from listening to the last podcast.
Okay. There's no chance I'm going to cut it out.
3 ideas.
Okay.
I didn't write one down.
You
but
took
I'll remember
notes?
It just occurred to me, so I wrote it down.
You took notes on Talking Banter? You need to
that
post
never happened.
Your notes to the Reddit.
Well, because I don't normally listen to the show because I don't like hearing me.
No, I'm the worst. I can't listen to me.
Yeah, but like,
I do listen to First Time Show, though.
I've listened to a couple of really good ones.
Steve was right. The last one was really bad.
Was it?
It's so bad.
Damn it.
There's one part at the end where Steve did the old switcheroo soundboard gag. He said he slowed down the Hurley bird, and I got real excited to hear it. And then he just played 32 iPhones. And that made me laugh so hard when we recorded it that I left thinking, man, this was a really good episode.
But it was just that one bit.
It was just that one moment, like, left a really positive opinion, and then listening back, it's brutal.
We did our best.
My buddy Hector is an enormous Lost fan. So much so that I started talking to him about my theory on Scott and Steve, and that Steve killed Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you know what, Brett? I'm glad you're having a good time, and I'm glad you're enjoying Lost, but Lost is something I take very seriously. And so he's like, if you're casually trying to bring up, did Steve kill Scott to me right now? He's like, I wouldn't. But I want to have him on. I want to have him on the First Time Show because he's such a huge fan, and he hates season 2. And he loves the rest of the show.
Everyone knows.
And I feel like all you guys have been saying is season 2 is the best.
I think 1's the best, but one and 2 is a pretty good.
After one is assumed to be the best.
Yeah, it's a good first season though, but it's a 1-2 punch for sure.
We have to have Hector on because I think he would add an extra layer of spice to the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but he was talking about listening to the show because he knows Steve, and I was just like, don't listen to this last one. I was like, listen to the one before it, or wait till the live show next week.
We had a lot to do, all right? We did our best.
Listen.
We get an E for effort.
I was in a pizza coma. I felt awful after eating that pizza.
I say don't cut this part out because if apparently
am not.
There are people listening to this show, which is great. But we do a Lost podcast.
Guys, if you like what you're hearing, but you were like, I wish I heard Steve more. We've got another show. The first time. Feels like the first time.
Yep.
Also on HeadGum.
Yep, we watch.
You can search my name and find that one, but not this one.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Episode ideas for this show.
Yes. I'm ready.
Okay.
This is Owen's thoughts.
Yeah, because you were mentioning wanting to have Sam on, which I thought was a good idea.
Yes.
And I figured Sam would give us a little insight into Steve, working with him and stuff, you know? And then I thought, we don't really know that much about Mike because we've known Steve longer. So why not, after Sam, have an episode where Elliot comes on? We really get, like, what's Mike like? Mm-hmm. I just figured...
Should we have a special? Should we have, like, a big blowout special and have Zoya and Brian on the same show?
Oh, shit. I don't know about that, but I figured since we've got an after show and we've got time, we should really get into the backstory of some of these characters. Specifically, the two main characters.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, so that's an
I'm
idea.
all for a little origin story.
That's an idea. And also, based on the last one, I really, really want you to watch Jack and Jill and do an episode with Chris so you guys can finally settle it.
I think it's the only way to settle it at this point.
Yeah. But
it's gone through every emotion.
I felt like Chris said something about it like it's been too long. We can't do it, and it's like, no, you can do it, and this is the way.
But it's been like a joke, and then I think for a while he was actually upset about it, and now it's sort of become a joke again. But there was a time there where it was a little touch and go.
He was real mad about that hour and a half you made him waste.
But I think secretly he loves it. Like, he loved that movie. I think that's why he's so upset.
Oh.
It means a lot to him.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm all for doing that.
So but then also, I love the idea of you and Chris having an Easy You podcast about ghost girlfriends. I don't know. I don't know how far it could go, but if that's always the basis for the episode, and then it becomes like a discussion of the supernatural and the afterlife and stuff, like you can go off into bigger ideas. But if that's like the premise, that's not bad.
Yeah. So I was thinking about me and Chris McCaleb and Craig Frank had a podcast a long time ago, and I was thinking about bringing it back just to talk about ghost stories. We've talked about it so much on here. So I'm all for that. We could just do a podcast when a new ghost girlfriend story pops up.
That's the problem. There's only one so far.
It could be a quarterly podcast.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be every week. But yeah, we should definitely do the commentarium, because Lord knows that Steve and Mike are not ever going to do it.
Oh, if we just stole it? Interesting. Like, put the pressure on? Listen, you have 2 weeks. If there is not a commentarium episode, we're fucking taking it and doing it.
We're doing one. We just leave a ransom note.
You mean with the letters all cut out from magazines?
Yeah, cut out of magazines. Just slip it under his door. Oh, Christ. So how was Fantastic Fest?
I thought about it. I think I'm going to...
When you were there?
Yeah.
Or on the way home?
Yeah. No, I had a great time, but I think I'll let Steve say what he's going to say on Dynamic Banter, and then I can fill in the gaps when that's up.
But don't you know this podcast is in the future? Haven't you been listening? Didn't you listen to the last episode? There's more.
Yeah.
We're in the future again in this episode.
Are we? What does that mean?
We'll get there. We got a lot to dig into, and we haven't even started yet.
That's true.
We haven't broke ground on the episode.
Yeah. Do you mean this is like in the future, like tomorrow?
Well, it will come out tomorrow. So Steve talked about your hot neighbor on the roof in Dynamic Banter, and Jesse put a note that Steve is acting like this is new information, but everyone's known it for 2 weeks because of Talking Banter.
Right. So yeah. I got that.
There's another one we're out ahead on here.
You guys were talking about. Yeah, we are, and that's what made me think about it. But
talking about Ghost Podcast, I went to the Soden house.
That's fucking right. You sent us pictures. Oh shit.
Yeah. Dude, so if you don't know what that is, it's a house in Hollywood that supposedly is where the guy lived that killed the Black Dahlia and a bunch of other people.
Maybe.
And yeah, well, for the sake of this story, it's nice if he did. We went. It was my.
It looks like a pretty amazing place.
Had her
either
birthday
way.
There. The thing is, it's so bizarre because that house is like every stereotype of a Hollywood party from the 40s or 50s where everybody's doing coke and everybody's fucking and it's just chaos and drugs and sex and rock and roll. It is that. Like I felt like I walked into that.
But all like
it was so it's just,
but like Art Deco. All in that style.
Yeah, it just the whole house is built around what's now a big pool, but used to be like a garden. But the house is one big circle, and all the rooms open up. Everything opens up to the middle, which is open air and whatever.
That's cool.
But it has a basement, which is supposedly where he would like take the kids and beat them, and that's where he killed and bled out the Dahlia and this and that. So we went down to the basement, and as soon as I walked in, my first thought was, yeah, they totally killed people here. Not like a spiritual feeling, not like a ghost ran up on me or anything. Yeah. It was just like, yes, this is it was a like square room with multiple doors, like 5-6 doors.
As a and that was it. Murder room.
It was totally
sure.
empty. And so I went through one of the doors, and the next room was totally filled with mirrors head to toe.
Wait,
and it had a little spot where they could have put a bed. It was like clearly the fuck room.
Hang on.
Okay.
Was there a tour guide, or you just do your own thing?
No, just showing ourselves around.
Okay.
With the lights on our iPhones.
Okay. How did you end up here? You didn't do the backstory. You just started talking about the place. Why are you
I said
there?
It was our associate producer. Our associate producer had her birthday there. Her birthday party at the house.
Right.
She rented the house to have the party there.
So there's no tour guide. It's just a party, and you can just walk around?
Right. She rented the house. And I guess, I don't know, maybe the guy who rented it to her gave her a little heads up beforehand of where stuff is.
It's like a private residence. It's not like like renting like
somebody owns it, but they don't live there. It's a historical landmark now because it's so notorious.
Is it? Is it an actual one, like government recognized?
I think so. I was able to. So for her, it was her birthday. So I got her. She's so into all this that I got her the blueprints of the house printed out from the LA County or whatever, and had it framed for her birthday. I'm giving it to her tomorrow.
Oh, hopefully. You did that since you went the other night.
Right. Yeah.
That's how much you loved it.
Well, that's how much she was into it.
Oh,
so I wanted to get her something cool that sort of memorialized that event. But anyway, so we're down in the fucking basement.
Is this a really good friend? Because that's a really thoughtful gift.
She's a good friend. She's worked on our show for a while now. And she got me a massage on my birthday, which was amazing.
Yeah, but a massage is easy to get. Like you're putting forth effort here.
Now you make me feel. Now I feel weird about the gift. Now I'm uncomfortable.
You just did it without even thinking about it, considering whether or not it was too thoughtful. You just like, this is a good idea for a gift, and you went and did it.
Yes.
I
wanted to get something.
That shows what kind of person you are.
Oh, good. Okay. I thought you were going to say something bad. But anyway, we're in the basement. We're in the mirror room, and then beyond the mirror room is a door, and we go through the door, and it's the under the house, and all the exposed beams that are holding the house up, and then it's just dirt, and there's like a big wooden work table.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't know what in your head you envision a place where people are murdered looks like, but that's what it looks like to me.
Now, hang on.
Okay, go ahead.
Is this place like cleaned up because it's like a place for tourists? Or is there a possibility that's an actual like leftover work table from the murder days?
I doubt it is. They renovated the house, and I'm sure they worked out of the basement because the basement is totally empty. It's completely 100%. Nothing is down there.
All right.
Except for foundation related.
Why not? Why is there nothing down there?
Like there's a big wine rack and stuff. I assumed it's because they worked out of there for the renovation, but the renovation was, I think, years ago.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Do you think while they were renovating the place, anyone was like, fuck, I'm gonna murder someone here because it's the place, and they like did it on that work table?
You mean they did it because they were inspired by the place, or because they were possessed like by the place, like Amityville?
No, they were just trying to respect your.
They're just like, if I'm gonna kill someone, I might as well kill them right here.
I think they're like, well, while I'm here, like I respect that guy who murdered those people here. I'm impressed by what he did.
You want to talk
I'm gonna
about
pay respect by like murdering someone here in honor.
What a crazy way to hide a body is if they put it under the pool as they're building it.
Right. That's pretty good. You're never gonna find it. Unless
long story story short.
I think if you put the body in the cement and it rots and whatever, then it like releases enough gases that it would like, even if it had been a while, the pool, like if you filled up with water and shit, the bottom would still like crack and stuff.
You're saying if you put the body in the concrete?
Yeah, I think it would still.
I was saying you just bury
like,
it underneath the concrete.
That's probably better, but I think it would. There's a potential it could still get found that way. I think.
Well, we're gonna try it out, and we'll let you guys know.
Can we just Mythbusters do it with a big pig? Is it disturbing that on that show they use pigs as human analogs?
I haven't watched enough of it to form an opinion, but I like the idea that we would do this and not film it. This would just be true scientific research.
Mythbusters did a Breaking Bad episode, and they put a full fucking dead pig in a bathtub full of acid to see what would happen.
I guess the answer is I don't think it bothers me as much as maybe it should.
Yeah, right. No, it's not the part that they're like fucking with dead pigs. That's fine. We eat them every day. But it disturbs me.
Oh, you mean the comparison?
It disturbs me to think that like we're not far at all from pigs in like consistency.
Yeah, it's like you can,
and therefore potentially
do that to a pig,
like being,
and somehow it's okay, but you can't do that to like a monkey or people.
Yeah, but
I feel like people would be angry.
If you think about a pig,
but isn't that the closer comparison?
Yeah, but then I start to think about us as pigs, and I'm like, that's pretty accurate. Like for a while, I was looking at everyone like rats, because if you look from the tip of someone's ear all the way down to the tip of their nose at the end of their face, it starts to look very like rodent-like if you go that direction.
Oh, I'm there. I'm going there with you right now. Some people I feel might be. Some people are more rat-like than others.
Maybe. Like that move you just made. That was pretty rat-like.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, I didn't. The place was supposedly haunted, and there was people there claiming to feel things, but I still don't believe in ghosts. Was the moral of the story?
Even after your discussion with Chris, where he taught you to be open-minded, you're still not.
That should be the podcast with me and Chris. Is we should go to really haunted places, and at the end of each podcast, we'll see if I believe in ghosts or not.
Yeah. You know what bothers me about...
Holy shit. Hold on. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard that.
What was that?
I don't know.
What the fuck was it?
Here, give me a minute.
What kind of sound
sounded
was
like
it?
Sounded like a gunshot.
Really?
Like close by. Hang on one second.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, what happened?
Okay, I'm back.
What the hell happened?
Well, I forgot there's a huge production on our street right here on Ventura. There's like 10 big rig 10-ton grip trucks.
Like a movie.
So it's a big production.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that they're just firing off prop guns down there.
Probably.
Oh man, it was like really loud right outside my window. Like my first thought was, I think one of our neighbors just killed themselves. Because that's what it sounded like, as if right across, because the other apartment complex lines right up to ours.
Yeah.
And it sounded like, yeah. But whew, maybe I'll leave this in. If it was quiet for the last, I'll just cut. It'll be a jump cut. There's a lot of drama in that. Doesn't happen every day.
Nope.
You want to get into this episode?
We need to, real bad.
All right. So I'm on top of things this week. I took Jesse's notes and I trimmed them down because there was 5 pages of notes.
Right.
So I trimmed down to the good stuff, and I already pulled tweets.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Respect the
Here
format.
we go. Respect the format. Hold on. Someone might be coming in here.
I need to get his pajamas.
We got to get pajamas. Man, when I went into this,
Jamie says
my thought
pajamas,
was,
you say pajamas.
well, we both say pajamas occasionally because it's from Love Actually.
Pajamas?
She goes, we don't even have pajamas.
Yeah, but she naturally says pajamas.
What?
She says pajamas, you say pajamas.
She said pajamas earlier, though.
Right now, she said pajamas.
Hey, did you think that this had ended?
I have to negotiate.
Because it hasn't.
I have to negotiate with him in order to get it off and change his diaper and put his pajamas on. I have to negotiate.
Pajamas.
Okay.
We're gonna put it back on, right? We're gonna.
No.
What's
Okay,
up?
Daddy's gotta work. He's working with Owen. Say good luck. Bye.
No.
Love you, Mace.
Yeah, come on, we're going.
Okay. Good, they're gonna go tonight.
Man, when you're a kid, you hate going to bed. When you're an adult, when it's finally the end of the day, like, oh, I can finally go to bed.
Bed is my favorite part of every day. Honestly, that moment where I acknowledge, okay, I'm all finished,
Yep.
and start walking towards the bedroom.
It's so relaxing.
It's the best.
How do
It
you
is
find that
just the
feeling?
best.
How do you find that feeling earlier in the day, though? How do you switch that on if you're not actually in that moment?
It's hard. I started taking B12.
Oh yeah, that helps. Have you ever had a 5-HTP?
No.
It's like a supplement for not getting enough of that in your diet, but it's the chemical your brain uses to rebuild serotonin when you're sleeping. So, like,
man.
if you have like 1 or 2 of those a day, like, you end up after like a few days, you're really sleeping a lot better.
Oh, I sleep real good.
Oh, well, never mind then. Fuck off.
Oh, I sleep like the dead. But yeah, it's like getting the opportunity to do that. Shit. All right, there you are. All right, let's get into it. First, Mike complains about peaking the audio on purpose. Steve counters that a loud podcast is better than a quiet podcast, which he says Owen agrees with.
Yeah, I hate when I've
You want to comment on that?
I hate when I have my headphones turned all the way up and I'm listening to my phone while I'm walking through the city or something, and my headphones are all the way up and I can't hear the podcast. That is annoying.
When I do this podcast, it always sounds fine to me, but when I upload it to Spreaker, it has very low waveform. So I put it through Levelator, and then it has a high waveform, but it sounds like the same volume to me.
Interesting. Do you think Spreaker's compressing it or something?
I don't know.
Me either.
I think that it's just like
You know how
different.
you know how
type
we do
of
movie
sound.
stuff and like
Yeah,
video stuff and make
we know all
music?
about that.
Yeah, we know all about all
Uh-huh.
that stuff, but sound is the hardest one. It's so
I don't know dick about sound.
It's because it's like you can't see
People
it,
should be thrilled it sound. This sounds as good as it does.
right? You can't.
We're doing
see-
it over
Yeah.
Skype. It's like 2 different microphones.
Yeah, but you can't see sound, so it's like really difficult to like visualize and like there's the waveform, but that you can't think about that in like the moment. I don't know how people do it.
I have a really good post audio guy, and I always give him the most garbage audio and just hope that it's legible after he's done, and it always comes back crystal fucking clear.
It's crazy.
He takes it into Pro Tools, and he does some sort of like satanic magic,
Yeah.
and he makes all the noise go away.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's why I know nothing. I don't know anything about sound.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's the hardest thing because like you can have a bad picture, and and people can go along with it, but if your sound is cutting in and out in really bad ways, it's like subconsciously your brain immediately shuts it down. Like if you have like a student film that you paid money to
Right.
make it look really good, but your sound sucks, it doesn't matter how good it looks, people will tune it out immediately. It's got to be like that continuous flowing thing, you know? It's crazy.
That's a good lesson for you kids that are making short films.
Oh yeah, you know you gotta think about it. Sometimes it sucks, and that's why you pay the guys the big bucks because they. I know. There's a few that do it right.
And it's why they're always so cranky.
Yeah, because everyone's
Because
constantly-
nobody cares about them. They're always the last thought.
Yeah,
But if there's
yeah.
no sound recorded, you know. Next up, Mike wonders if there's a superhero named Max Capacity. I looked it up. There isn't.
Oh well, trademark.
Just wanted to clarify that. So if anyone wants to make a Max Capacity superhero,
He's all
free game.
He's all ours.
yeah.
We own him.
Oh yeah, I guess could
No,
we
all
claim
of
this
us.
podcast as a copyright?
I don't know, but I always like on Cloverfields we did the John Goodman's Face album. Do you know about that?
No, I haven't got that far yet.
Yeah.
I haven't finished Cloverfields yet.
Yeah, because they said they were talking about John Goodman's youthful face a lot, and they said that would be a good name for a band, John Goodman's Face. And so I said, okay, everyone out there who does music stuff, write a song. And everyone sent in songs, and collectively we made the John Goodman's Face album in like a weekend,
That's incredible.
right? So I like that. I like that group effort.
I need to
feeling.
go listen to it. Cloverfields, I'm still working through because I'm trying to track down pieces of the ARG.
Oh, you're actually going along with it.
I'm trying to find a lot of it because it's very interesting to me right now.
I was like some of our lost listeners. I wasn't following the ARG. I was just going along with the podcast. So whatever they said was happening was my image of it. But that show was a lot more about describing what was happening. So I think it was good.
Right. I don't know.
Well,
I'm too
clearly-
afraid to look up anything on Lost.
Clearly,
I
the
won't type
Cloverfields-
Lost into a Google
You
search
can't.
right now.
You can't do it.
I'm afraid.
But
I know.
Clearly, the Cloverfields podcast was a success, is what I'm saying. In case anyone didn't notice.
You should find random people on the street and ask them if they've listened to the Cloverfields podcast.
Not a chance.
No, it's very popular. Next up, Mike says it's not easy to explain what the podcast is to his parents. Steve said his mom has been listening to the podcasts. This brings the question, does Steve's mom know about Talk and Banter and listen to it? I don't think there's no good way to find out.
I doubt it.
If you're listening, Miss Zaragoza.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
welcome.
have you ever met her?
No.
Oh, she's
Am I missing out?
no,
I
she's
assume I am.
she's wonderful.
Anyone who could have birthed that boy.
Yeah.
Someday, maybe with that question. If you're listening, Miss Zaragoza, please tweet us at Talkin' Banter with no G. It's newfangled spelling.
What if she just wants to email us?
She probably has proper spelling. If you want to email us, it's talkinbanter@gmail.com. Again, no G in the talkin'.
What if she
But-
just wants to find a website where she can
Snail
message
mail?
us? What about a
that'd be
website?
if there was a website, it would be talkinbanter.com, no G.
And does that does lead to it, but isn't that a link to the Talkin' Banter section of the Dynamic Banter website?
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Seems that way.
None of us did.
So,
None of us did
All
that.
of those are options.
Did we talk about that?
Zaragoza. We haven't yet. Jesse Stillwell made the website. We talked about the website, but we didn't know who had made it at the time. But it's been confirmed.
Yeah.
And he did a podcast about he was worried that we would think he's a stalker because he's doing all this. And he, just to put it out there on the podcast officially, we don't think you're a stalker. This is all great. We would have never made a website.
Yep.
So it's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Next up, Steve wonders which podcasts his mom has been listening to, which begs the question, which episode of Dynamic Banter would be the worst one to listen to as Steve's mom?
I don't think I think it's all
It's all acceptable?
I think he has nothing left.
Nothing sticks out to me.
No,
nothing sticks out to me as like offensive on that level.
Oh, no, but I also don't think there's anything left in that bag. I think she's heard it all.
Oh.
In the 34 years he's been a boy.
Listening to Dynamic Banter is just like reruns.
I
for
don't
her.
think that there is anything in the world he could say that she hasn't heard from him.
I think that answers the question.
Yeah, and mostly probably up until the age of about 20.
We don't even need Sam on. We're getting the Steve backstory right now. Next up, Steve said he's got several things on his mind that he wants to talk about, but says he can't talk about any of them, which continues a time-honored tradition of Steve promising amazing stories and then not paying them off.
I mean, that's the danger of a tangent podcast, but I don't think you can I don't think there's a way around that. You got it's going to happen naturally, you know?
That's every time I've seen Kevin Smith talk.
Yeah.
It's one question
Yeah.
accounts for the entire show. So this is the next note. This is where we go into the future again. This podcast. Mike guesses that
All
the
podcasts
ET
go into the
cost-
future. What are you talking about? Unless
Mike
they're
guesses
live.
that
Do they have live
Hold on,
podcasts?
Let me get it out. Mike guesses that the ET cost $500, which is close to the actual cost of $400, as we learned on the last Talking Banter with Dynamic Banter historian Chris McCaleb. We should probably. I don't. So the risk with the fact that Mike and Steve don't know about this after show is we are not syncing up our releases very well. And they snuck a Dynamic Banter out on me on Thursday.
Oh.
And so at the after show we're gonna have 2 after shows in a row now.
Really?
After 2 episodes of Dynamic Banter. Yeah, this one will go up tomorrow.
I leave town for the
last
only time in the whole fucking year.
Well,
And everything goes to shit.
that's right. Don't ever leave again.
Including the
next
last
up-
Lost podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I could spend this whole time just talking about that Lost podcast.
No. And we can't talk about it on the next one. No more
No.
talking about the show on this show. God damn it. We have a show to talk about.
We can only after show one show at a time. Next up, Mike says that
Both of our shows are about talking about shows.
We know. Listen. We know what we do best.
That's not good.
We've got
I know.
one lane.
I know that it says that's what we do best, but that makes me sad. If that's my best, I should really give up on the rest.
You can live sad. You know, it's okay.
I already do.
Mike says that he might be doing a cartoon voice, but doesn't go into specifics. Steve wonders if it's with Sex McFarmland.
Yeah.
In Jesse's notes, there's also no mention of the full title together.
Oh. You think you're pretty special for catching that.
I feel like I'm in Lost Brain. Because we did 2 episodes back to back. What people don't understand, talking about Lost and talking about First Time Show, what people don't understand is I've watched 2 parts to a 3-part episode and then had to wait 2 weeks before watching the 3rd part.
Yep.
So I've been questioning everything in my day-to-day life.
Well, you should also be bummed out too, because our original plan was to watch the last episode and the first episode of season 2 back to back.
Right.
And now we're not doing that.
We're not doing now. We're doing a live show. But we'll get into that because there's
Man,
a
I'm
question
so
about
bummed
it.
for you, because if I'd gotten to see the beginning of season 2 right after I watched the finale of season 1, I would have flipped my shit.
So you're bummed out for me?
Yeah, I was really excited to experience that through you of not having to wait, because I had to wait.
But why are you bummed out for me?
Because that would have been an awesome experience, but now you have to wait.
To make me wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on the wrong podcast.
This is the wrong podcast. Next, Mike asked if Steve brought... Oh. So they go into the ELO conversation and try to call Delman.
Uh-huh.
I'm starting to question, talking about First Time Show, I'm starting to question if Steve will ever call someone on the podcast and they'll pick up. Because Maud didn't pick up on First Time Show either.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. I was going to ask you.
But anyway, they were talking about the ELO show and about Delman having the box seats. But Chris McCaleb also talked on this show about having a box seat hookup at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right.
Are we the only ones who don't have box seat hookups, is my question.
No, but...
Because, I don't like to meet new people, so I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, no, but that's why I've always wanted to get a T-shirt that has just a big +1 written on it.
I love it.
Should we sell that shirt?
On dftba.com?
I don't know. There seems to be a lot of discussion about it.
Steve keeps bringing that up, but I don't know if he's talked to them about doing it.
No, I think he's only talked about it on the podcast. There's been no mention of it while the recording is not happening.
Mike Falzone posted an title treatment for Peter Panikin Skywalker.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping that was the precursor to the shirt announcement.
An announcement. Anyway, if we do it, I need my +1 shirt, just because I want one finally. That's all.
I love it. I love that. I would wear a +1 shirt.
But I only
I'd wear a sad cop shirt.
Yeah, but I only wear V-necks. You can't do a graphic on a V-neck. That doesn't work.
Well, you can, but it's the pocket graphic.
It's still not good. V-neck is all about casual comfort, and if there's graphics, you're trying too hard.
Let me mock something up. I'll mock something up. I'll send it over to you.
I don't know about
If it's
this.
good, we'll put it on the Twitter and see if people are into it. It's a pocket graphic. There's no pocket there.
So what,
You'll
Like
see.
an-
I'm gonna mock it up. I'll mock it up and I'll send it to you.
Like an initials or something?
No, it would be like a whole small gentleman logo or sad cop, Sir checks his watch, Peter Panic and Skywalker.
Respect
there
the
more?
format.
We'll respect the format. It's first time show. Oh, are we doing first time show stuff?
I don't
One
know.
that says good morning.
Yeah. +1. That's from this show for me.
But it would be a pocket graphic that has a +1.
I have a really cool Benjamin Franklin time traveler hoodie from a graphic somebody made.
Send me a picture of it.
It's 2 of a
That
kind.
way I know where your barometer is. for
It's
things
2
that are-
or 3 of a kind.
Really?
Yeah, because we all got to pick a hoodie with like whatever we wanted on it for Christmas a couple years ago at the office.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you scored? That you got the best one?
It's pretty good. I wish it was a zipper hoodie, though. I like those better. I don't like things that choke me. Can you tell? Including stranglers.
When you say it, I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would have got there on my own.
What happened next on the fabulous Dynamic
Steve
Banter
calls
podcast?
Delman but gets his voicemail. We covered that. But then Mike says they'll try to call him next week amid the fact that there is no evidence in Dynamic Banter history that Steve and Mike respect any form of continuity or purpose fulfillment or promise fulfillment.
Right. It's kind of a...
It's like a part of the show now.
It is, yeah. It's like me without a microphone.
It's like no matter what happens at the end of an episode of The Simpsons, you know everything will be back to normal by the next episode.
Yeah, I like that. They should keep throwing out empty promises. It's really funny. 'Cause you don't have to do anything with that.
Then Steve asks Owen to join them. Mike welcomes Owen to the podcast. Owen answers with a stern no from his normal position outside the apartment in the trunk of a Pontiac Firebird.
Uh-huh.
I just really liked that.
Accurate.
Steve tells Owen he tried to call Delman and then says Owen will have to listen to the podcast to find out why.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Nope.
Did you go back and listen?
Uh-uh.
So you don't know why he wanted to call Delman?
Nope.
So earlier when I was talking about the ELO show, did you know what I was talking about?
I think.
Because Delman has a hookup at the Hollywood Bowl,
Yeah.
and Steve reached out and he told him
Yeah.
that there would be that he would get the tickets and then didn't. So Steve was calling him to call him out on it.
Right.
My one hope is that there's some catharsis to that in the next episode. Like Steve has since talked to Delman.
Oh. I doubt it.
I also doubt it. It's a hope. Next up, Mike comes up with the revolutionary idea of forcing people to go through an escape room if they want to exit a club because they're feeling faint or weary. He doesn't mention it, but this is a potential fire hazard or the plot of the next installment of the Saw franchise. So then Mike goes on to say he wants to have his own fun fest where he rents a theater and tells everyone his special is premiering there. He's going to pack the place and then never come on stage. Eventually, they're going to start leaving and discover that it was all a clever ruse designed to trick them into going into an escape room.
That's so especially after they've probably waited like 2 hours or so to like really
Now, here's what I thought at the time. Does he have to not do the special? Can't we premiere the special he's going to do in you guys' living room at the theater?
No, it's just.
And then when
it's extra
everybody
mean.
leaves, they all have to work together to get out of the escape room.
It's also extra
There's
mean.
multiple exits.
Yeah.
It's like 4 escape rooms. I just think it's funnier if you've sat through an hour of stand-up
Maybe.
and then try to get out.
No, I think it's funnier if they're miserable. And
When we saw Louis at the Palladium, I had a version of this just in the parking lot of trying to get out of the parking lot at the Palladium was like an escape room. It was thousands of cars trying to get to one singular exit that had one lane.
No.
It was my version of hell. No, everybody was trying to get in different lines, but we were all going to the same place. It was the maybe top 5 worst nights of my life.
Jesus Christ.
And before that happened, I saw Louis C.K. perform live. So, saying something about the parking lot.
Did it bum you out, or was that enough, like, positive, like, goodness to get you through?
I don't know. I'm to this day somewhat undecided. I think only time will tell which is more important to me.
Yeah. Like the first time I went to the Hollywood Bowl, like so many years ago, and I parked there because I didn't know about it.
I'm told it's a mistake.
You can't do it. They park all the cars in rows, and you have to wait until everyone in front of you is gone.
But at least there's a system. There was no system.
No, but this is like
This
is like each row is like 100 cars long, and there's like 8 or 9 rows.
Was there somebody
next to each
there
other.
guiding you? Is there somebody guiding the path?
Not really, but the problem is until everyone comes out of the bowl to leave, who's in front of you, you can't go anywhere. So even if you get to your car right after the end of the show, you could be stuck there for an hour and a half.
I'm never gonna leave my house again for fear of ending up parking there by accident. Next up, when Mike was doing pictures and video for weddings, every member of the wedding party would tell him to never have a big wedding. Steve says that everyone with kids tells him never to have kids. Owen says people tell him to never get married as a joke, but it's not a joke. The person telling Steve not to have kids is me. A little behind the scenes info.
That's the thing.
It's not because I don't love my son, but because,
No, like your delivery and everything is perfect, but you're not the only one.
But also never have a big wedding.
Yeah.
It's even Jamie really wanted to have like a traditional wedding, and we did. And she tells everyone never have a big wedding. She's the number one proponent of not having a big wedding.
What does she wish you'd done?
Just gone
in
to
one
Vegas.
sentence or less. Oh, you said it.
Gone to Vegas. Yeah. That's it. She wishes we had just gone to Vegas, got married, because we ended up getting married on the East Coast, which is where she's from, in a hurricane. A hurricane hit the day we got married, so several members of my family couldn't make it there. And then we ended up having a whole nother reception in L.A.
Oh, Jesus.
So we could have gone to Vegas and just told everyone to fly out to Vegas and got married by Elvis and Priscilla. And still had the same fucking reception in LA.
Yeah.
Steve, the next note is Steve thinks a church wedding is pointless. It's just a show for family. You won't get tax breaks unless you get married. I'm married and have a kid. There's no noticeable tax break.
Really?
Me.
What about your, do you have like, does that make you 2 dependents?
Yeah. And I guess my point is the expense of being responsible for 2 people is much higher than the tax break. So never get married for the tax breaks.
Interesting.
This is a lesson. This is a lesson on the podcast.
Good to know.
But that brings me to my favorite note, and that Steve suggests the genius idea of an escape room wedding. Which, if you're going to spend the money, do that.
Yeah.
Have you ever done an escape room?
Nope. I'd like to.
I haven't
though.
either.
Yeah.
I didn't know. The way they talked about it, it seems readily available. I thought this was a very rare thing.
Well, spoiler alert.
Okay.
We were super stoked to do the Satanic Panic escape room at Fantastic Fest with the shackles.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. Well, Isn't this where all this escape room talk started?
No.
I thought...
Because they recorded it before they went to...
Yeah, but we knew about it. I thought that was how it came up.
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember.
It didn't... I don't believe it had a proper point of origin in the podcast. I think it just came up.
Interesting. maybe we were talking about it before. Whatever. It was booked solid the whole time we were there. Couldn't get in.
You couldn't get in?
Nope. And plus, you're like so busy with all the movies, like it's tough. So that was a little bit of a bummer. I would have liked to do that. We were planning on it.
Well, that sucks. I can't wait to hear about all the good stuff at Fantastic Fest.
Yeah, it was really
talks
good.
about
It
it on
was-
Dynamic Banter.
It was a good time.
Next up, we have an interesting first-time note. This is a question from Jesse in the notes. At minute 50, 35 seconds, Jesse question here as it relates to a long pause. Do Mike and Steve add edit points and then ignore them as a stylistic choice for the comedy? Or do they just forget that they added edit points and then forget to edit shit out? This seems to happen a lot. What is your take on that?
It reminds me of like a musical like idea of like some of the most important notes are the ones you don't play.
Interesting. That's a beautiful way to answer that question. The next note here is History Road. It's the story of another man who attempted to buy a full-sized naked E.T. statue, but didn't have the funds. He didn't have the money, so he's still searching. Story abruptly ends there. I bring this note up because I wanted to talk specifically about the place at Universal City Walk that Steve mentions.
Which one?
The monster store or whatever that has all the toys and collectibles.
Sure.
I was expecting you to be more enthusiastic. I'd be like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, that's not there
I've
anymore.
only really been to City Walk.
They
like,
got rid of it. They
I've maybe been
ousted
there,
it
like-
and made a bigger.
10 times in 15 years. I don't like it.
They made a bigger like tchotchke shop for Universal shit and got rid of that.
Whoops.
That's all of Jesse's notes. He wrote a little something here at the end that I'm going to read for the first time now. I counted 17 laugh claps total in the episode. I think that Owen should install a clapper on one of the apartment's loud kitchen appliances, like a blender, to see whether or not Steve does the rational mental math that someone's fucking with him, or that a ghost thinks that whatever he's laughing at is funny too.
That's really good.
I want to add...
The only reason that wouldn't work is because it's not only when the podcasts are going that loud noises happen. Often.
Well, I don't totally know how a clapper works, but can you turn it off and on?
Yeah. There's got to be a switch on it. Why don't more
look
people
into
have
that.
clappers? It seems like a pretty cool idea.
I don't know. It feels like more of a joke than a functional item at this point.
It does seem like a joke, but like you're laying in bed or you don't want to flip the light off and then go to bed, you know, or when you're in bed and some girl asks you to take dirty pictures of yourself, but you're like, oh, the light's off. But if I could just clap and turn it on in the middle of the night, I could get the shot.
I've never once in my life ever wanted a clapper, but hearing you talk about it makes me want one. Makes me wonder why I don't already have one.
Right?
I'm not even kidding. Like in my office, I have to go manually turn on the lamps that are on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
The clapper is not only affordable, but it's so like lame that everyone hates it that it's super like cheap. You could probably get like a dozen for the office. Maybe it doesn't work at all. We don't know.
What if it's like out of print? Like they don't make the clapper anymore.
I bet you could get it at the 99-cent store.
All right, I'm gonna look into it. Let's get to tweets from the @TalkinBanterNoG Twitter account. The first one is from Felicia, and she says, this is in reference to the last episode that you weren't on. She says, hold up. You're willing to believe God is an alien with the ability to limit space exploration, but ghosts? Nah. And I responded to her on Twitter, that's correct. But I wanted to expound a little bit because it's true. It's like thinking about the possibility that there's aliens out there that created this universe and also created it so that we can't escape it, but being like life after death is ridiculous.
You're saying
Is funny.
yeah, you're saying like you're not saying that like a creator as like a god. I mean, maybe, but it's almost more like an ant farm.
I just think
Like
that
they've
there
got
are
us in a
other-
little ant farm, knowing we can't go anywhere, but they can like. I mean, but what do you do with an ant farm? You watch it and wait for them to die.
I guess, or wait long enough till they build their way out of the ant farm.
They never do.
They never do. That's the thing. But no one's ever watched an ant farm for an eternity.
Yeah. You know my thing with ghosts,
What's your thing with
other than
ghosts?
all the stupid stuff, the planet's never in the same spot. It's whizzing through space, and the galaxy's rotating, and the universe like we're never in the same place. Why would
As the ghost?
yeah, like, oh, this house is haunted. That house is like
That's an interesting
that house is
idea.
whizzing through
If it's
space
like-
at thousands of miles an hour.
It would be an interesting story point if you were writing a like ghost TV show or whatever, that a house is haunted like every October,
Right.
when the and
But I don't think
on
even
this day and
I
then
don't
on
think
a leap
even every
year, it's
October,
this
like
day.
even though you come back around, you're in the same position in accordance with the sun at that particular date in October, where the galaxy is shifted. Like we're not even in the same place in space that was last October. Like the whole thing's moving on top of that.
So you're saying there's no ghosts, but there are aliens,
Yep. Well, not aliens who've come here.
right?
If they ever did
Bobby
it, they would
DeWalt-
have. If in like all of time,
If they were gonna do it, they would have done it.
they would have done it, and they would have showed up, and for hundreds of millions of years, it was dinosaurs, and they probably showed up and were like, it's fucking Monster Planet. Let's never go back there.
Well, I constantly think about the idea of we can only think in life and death. Everything we have, every like piece of paper, or whatever, will eventually be gone. And everyone dies, and everything dies. But if we didn't have that mentality, meaning like if there's aliens that don't,
Think on
the
those
concept
terms.
of life and death doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Then we would be a very young species to them.
Yeah, ant farm.
Yeah. So we could have a long way to go.
I think so. I hope so. But in another 4 billion, the Earth's gone, swallowed by the sun, expanding.
Okay, next question. Jack Wiedner asks,
Joss Whedon
not about
wants to know.
extraterrestrial. Josh Whedon is asking, how does Owen feel about the broken glass? You didn't get a chance to talk about this because you weren't here last week, so I wanted to give you this question in case you had any thoughts.
I mean, it was funny when it was scary. But my first
Did
thought...
you sleep through it or did you get up?
I did sleep through it,
Okay.
but Steve didn't really hear it either. I told him, like, he should have woke me up, and he was like, I didn't really hear it. I just heard the tinkling glass after that. But maybe, like, the crash woke him up, but he didn't, like, hear it.
Are you spooked at all or was it just an inconvenience?
Yeah, it was inconvenient for him. It was fine for me.
Did you hang the Macho Man Randy Savage picture up yet?
No, it's still right over there on the table.
Shit. All right, next question. Tommaso asks, hey boys, have you decided when the live podcast will be? I want to watch that finale. Now they tweeted this to... Oh, they didn't tweet it to Talking Banter. This must have been my Twitter. Whatever, I pulled the question. Are we doing it Saturday night?
That's what
People will hear this tomorrow.
I know, right? It seems like it.
Okay, it seems like Saturday night. Watch for an official tweet from the First Time Show Twitter account.
What's that?
But if you're not listening to First Time Show, we're going to do a live version of it Saturday night on Steve's YouTube channel, so tune into that.
It's a podcast
Please,
where we're
and thank you.
rewatching Lost 2 episodes a week until we die.
Doesn't that sound great? Go listen to it. No emails and no fanfic this week because we didn't get any emails or any fanfic this week. I just want to remind you guys of the email address. It's talkinbanter@gmail.com. Talkin' no G. And if that's confusing, go to talkinbanter.com, no G.
You can ask
And
us
send
anything.
stuff.
You can ask us anything.
It feels like people have decided upon Twitter for their question asking method. But we get emails just about thoughts. If your thoughts extend 140 characters, email.
Right. You know,
If you need to know how drafts work, listen to First Time Show.
and I get it with the emails and the Twitter, because I'm not the type to email the shows when they say, like, hit us up, ask us questions. I never do.
So you're not blaming anyone.
No, but I don't know why I never do. Because it's fun. I like hearing emails on podcasts and things. Nothing wrong with it.
There's always, it's that point is you decide if you want to hear more,
It makes
or you can move on
I'd
to
say-
another podcast at that
wait,
point. I like
I'm
that it gives a
changing it
good
up.
out. Okay.
Emails make it better, for sure. Having an audience feedback part of a podcast, always more interesting.
I agree. Was there more to that? Is there a counterpoint?
No, just thought about it since we do podcasts. It occurred to me one day.
Well, that's our show. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. I'm so glad you were back this week.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It's not the same without you.
No, it was definitely better.
We'll have Chris back. We'll get Sam on here.
You and Chris got to do I think that has to happen.
The haunted tour.
No, oh, that's good too. But no, I meant the Jack and Jill episode.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, we'll do that.
You had time to watch The Pacifier, but you didn't have time to watch Jack and Jill.
That's right. I think that also upset him. We'll get that on the books, but I don't want to say when we'll do it yet because I don't want to promise something and then not pay it off. That's Dynamic Banter's thing. I don't want to take their shtick.
No, we're here to honor their shtick.
That's right. All right. Thanks for listening.
Lights out.
That was a HeadGum podcast.